Well, if you're a golfer, I wonder if you've ever achieved a hole-in-one. I've played for many years, even off a single-figure handicap, but never even come too close to saying I've scored an ace. Our next guest has done so. Recently, he achieved the effort more than just once. You see, he had 1,516 hole-in-ones or aces. Now, if you think I'm kidding, let's explain things. He did so in almost 22 hours of playing mini-golf day and night to raise money for charity. And if you're listening to us in the Sydney region out at the Westmead Mini-Golf, his name is Alan Cox. He takes our call. Thank you for joining us, Alan.
Hi, Andrew.
Well, let's explain to our listeners, first of all, the reason behind what you achieved, and then we'll talk about the intricacies of playing mini-golf for so long and so on. But the idea behind this was a worthy cause.
Yes, my nephew Chase has been through a 54-week course of radiation and chemotherapy, and he was my inspiration behind the fundraising for the Westmead Children's Hospital.
Now, researching a bit about yourself, you're actually a 5-time Australian putt-putt gold medalist. I didn't even know we had a gold medal for putt-putt. You actually come under the banner of the putt-putt professionals or so on. So explain to us your love of playing putt-putt golf, because obviously this is more than just a pastime or something you do every now and again.
Yes, it's probably 25 years worth of sort of practice and competition. I've also played across in America in the US pro championships, and we have a lot of fun travelling around the country and playing a bit of putt-putt.
Now, whenever someone breaks a record, they break a previous record. So you actually more than just broke the previous record. The previous mark was 570, and you scored 1,516, and it took you about 22 hours. So basically, was it a case that you were going to try and play as much putt-putt as you could before you pretty much collapsed?
That's pretty much how it panned out at the end. I had put about 68 hours of practice in on the course over the previous couple of months, and a couple of colleagues of mine sort of said, Alan, the pace I was sort of setting, I was hoping that possibly 1,500 was a reality, but they assured me that no one could make that many, so I sort of had a bit of a dogged determination to actually get that many.
So if we've got listeners to us that have played the Westmead mini-golf, and obviously mini-golf courses are still around, maybe I won't say a dying breed, but certainly a lot of us always relate to one or two. I know we've got a place on the Gold Coast, and whenever we go up there, the famous one there at Mermaid Beach, I think near the Pizza Hut and the cinemas around that. I think the cinemas are gone, actually, but that's a well-known one. Can you tell me what the Westmead mini-golf course is like, given you're a professional?
Yeah, well, the way putt-putt's set up is that every hole is a par 2, as distinct from some of the mini-golf holes that might be par 3s, 4s and 5s. So every hole is a par 2, and you do have a chance of getting a hole-in-one on every hole. So I sort of averaged, I think it was about 8 per round for something like 175 rounds or something.
So who was counting? Obviously, to know it was 1,516, I wouldn't blame you to save time that you had to fill a scorecard in like everyone else. And whenever I've played putt-putt, it seems to be 2 or 3 people waiting at each hole. So I'm guessing you had an open go at getting through as many holes as you wanted to as well. But who was actually recording these aces for you?
Yeah, I actually had a support team of about, I think it was about 25 or 30 odd people over the course of the event, and recording into the computer and doing video work and doing enough confirmation and data collection to verify the world record attempt. So.
We're chatting to Alan Cox. This is an amazing story. Anyone who plays golf or has played putt-putt will find this intriguing. Alan played putt-putt for nearly a day. He started at around 10 o'clock at night, went through to 8 o'clock the next night. He only stopped to have a bit of a bath break and a bit of a snack, and in doing so, he scored 1,516 aces. Now, were you running? I'm figuring that I can imagine, being a golfer myself, that the area that you would really start to tire was bending down to place or pick up a ball. So I'm assuming that your support team saved you the trouble of having to bend down to get the ball out of the hole, although the 18th hole you can't do it. Most putt-putts, it goes down a chute to the front desk. But I'm gathering you didn't have to place or pick up the ball at all yourself, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, I actually, the actual support didn't have that. I had like a pickup rubber type suction thing on the end of my putter, and and then just sort of dropped the ball and placed it with my foot and saved all the bending over. But certainly by the end of it, my back was still feeling it, and the legs, and finally the brain was telling me how long we've done enough. So.
And how quickly were you playing then? Because it wasn't about speed. Obviously, the more holes you play, the more chance you've got of getting a hole in one. But it wasn't as if you had to sprint the way around, because obviously you need to apply yourself to hit the shot reasonably well, although a lot of luck involved too. But how quickly were you trying to play?
Yeah, initially we were knocking around about 10 rounds per hour. And then that sort of drifted off to way near the end, where I sort of just about got back to a crawl, and they were taking quite long to get round then. But fortunately, my hole in one per round average sort of kept up around the 8 and close to 9 per round. So the putting was certainly holding in there, but yes, the rest of the body was telling me otherwise.
How soon did you have your first hole in one?
The first hole.
First hole.
First hole. That was a nice start.
And what was the biggest sequence of hole-in-ones in a row?
From the first tee, I made the first 7.
Made the first 7. Look, I've been to a lot of putt-putts, and I play myself, and I was down to single figures once at my course, Huntingdale, and parred the course. So I've played a bit, and when I've gone to putt-putt courses, I've found some of them pretty tough because they seem to run at the speed of the Hume Highway. They're so fast. So in essence, sometimes you'll hit an absolute beauty and you'll be bemused at the way it goes left or right off a bump or two. So I'm assuming West Ride's pretty fair to a point. But were there any holes all the way around that you never actually holed in one, or did you actually get a hole in one on every hole at one point? Because most of those putt-putt courses, Alan, have got something with a waterfall or a spinning wheel or something that you never hole in one on.
Yes, true. Fortunately, our water course is not themed with like all the windmills and type things. There's certainly an amount of obstacles, but nothing moving or whatever. So I think the least amount of holes I had was on our bridge hole, which is pretty tough hole, and I think I only made that 14 times. But there was some of them I'd probably average maybe close to 80-90% of the time. Some of the easier type holes. That's
amazing. Now. You've told us there's a professional circuit that you've played in America and so on. So what are you like on a regular golf course, Alan? I've interviewed a few from the long driving champs that if they went on a real golf course, they might hit at 300 metres, but they'd take 7 or 8 more to get down and struggle to break 80. But putt-putt's totally different to regular golf. But do you play regular golf yourself at all, or?
Yeah, I did. Play a bit of social golf. I'm pretty ordinary from 2 degrees, but once I get on the green, I'll probably average something in the range of about 28 to 30 putts around in sort of normal golf.
So did you get sick of it by the 20? Obviously, you're doing it for a very worthy cause for your nephew and to raise funds and so on, but at the same token, did it ever become boring towards the end, continually hitting putts on every hole?
No, not really. I did have quite a few sponsors that were paying sort of by the hole in one, so there was a lot of reason to sort of keep trying to get aces. But and I've never shot a perfect 18 in competition. 3 guys in America have actually shot perfect 18s, and the best I've done is 21 out of the 18 holes. But the 18 mark is still yet to be conquered.
That's amazing, because a lot of there'll be people listening to us that play putt-putt, and they might have played at West Ride, and they'll say he's hoping to get a perfect 18 out of 18. 18 putt-putt holes every single time he holes in one, and you mentioned there that you've had runs of 6 or 7 hole-in-ones in a row, because a lot of people who play golf suggest that putt-putt has an element of luck as well as skill, the right bounce, the ricochet or so on. So some might say what you're suggesting seems almost impossible to fathom. I could understand a golfer at Royal Melbourne or Royal Sydney, if you lined him up from 10 feet, he might make 15 in a row because obviously the conditions are suited. But some say the element of luck in putt-putt seems that what you're telling us is almost impossible to fathom.
No, there is 3 guys in the US that have had perfect 18s, and in the US Championships recently played for 8 rounds. they actually broke 200, so they're averaging better than 11 hole-in-ones per round. So that's basically the way putt-putt's set up. That, you know, if you get the angle right, you get the line right, you get the speed right, you're pretty confident at actually going in. So.
Well, you smashed the record. Who used to hold the record of just over 570 or so? You smashed it by 1,000. Who used to hold the record?
Yeah, it was a Mick Cullen from the US, and I've actually my record's been put up on record set a US based world record setting type place, and yes, I've actually had emails and that from him congratulating me on the effort. So.
Well done. Well, people can have a look at the articles. If they just Google up your name, it'll take them to where you raise the funds as well. It's just an amazing story. And if anyone's listening to us, because we do broadcast into Sydney, maybe get out to West Ryde to the putt-putt sometime in the future and try it yourself. And which of the courses did you play?
I just went around the water course, which is probably the easier of the three courses there. So the other two are quite difficult to sort of get more aces on. So I sort of chose that course because it is slightly easier.
Did you lose any golf balls? You made a 1,500 plus aces. It's very hard to lose a golf ball unless you're doing stupid things. But I've seen people lose them at putt-putts. They get a bit carried away with things. Did you actually lose a ball?
No. Played with the same ball the whole 175 rounds. So that was pretty awesome.
Amazing stuff.